They're out there, man.
I mean, are they?
They are.
Are they?
No,
out
they
there?
are.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Hey, everybody. This is the firing pin. You know where you are. It's Thursday night. There's nowhere else I want to be.
I would
right here.
I can't picture it. Are we good? Yeah, cool.
Are we? Who
yeah,
are you?
we're good. Oh, my name's Tyler. That's birth name.
I'm Brandon. I don't know what one we're on, but I look at all the cameras.
I think we're at this one.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah,
Hi.
2.
Yeah. I'm Brandon. Who else is here?
We'll get to that. We gotta talk business
Josiah's
first. Josiah. Oh yeah.
Our producer.
Sorry,
for tonight, Josiah.
I forget you.
Hi. Oh, look at that! Look at that backroom shot. That was nice. That was nice.
No flag.
That was nice. Do we have people sponsor like?
There's no sound.
This.
People are saying.
People.
Is it turned up? The dial.
Yeah. Which one? This output. This one.
Keep
Go
talking.
ahead. It's all right. Well, but they can't hear what we're saying. Checkity. Take my well, that's where this is a family show. This is a family show, folks. Let's see here. So anything yet? Any sound? Any sound?
We should be good.
Is it the tinfoil?
I think we just missed. I think we just muted the input.
Okay.
So
It's
are
not
we
because
good?
of
Yeah, there's like 3 different.
Cool.
it wasn't the midi-chlorians?
No.
Okay.
That's no.
Is that
But these help with that.
okay? Good. I feel it. I can tell. So we somehow have sponsors for this. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how that's
How do we
happened.
ever get that?
But we do have sponsors for this. We have a gym, Beyond Driven Fitness in
Yeah.
Leroy. Leroy.
I say Leroy.
I say Leroy. I feel like if you're from this area, you say Leroy, and then if you're from Pittsburgh, you go Leroy. But
Do they?
anyways,
I don't think they know what Leroy is.
I
out in
don't think
Pittsburgh.
anything west of the Genesee
Yeah.
is just like a wasteland to them.
No, it is.
Beyond Driven Fitness, they are an amazing, locally owned, just family gym that I think is state of the art. They are constantly improving and making their scene better, constantly getting new equipment, and they're just community driven. I mean, they listen to their customers and the community, and they are all about it. And
I'm really excited. I'm actually going to go out Monday. I'm going to sign up and start going with Pat.
I need to.
Beyond.
Yeah.
So we're going Monday night. I get
do
out
it.
at 5 if you want to come
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I'm going to visit on Sunday. Me and my brother.
Beyond?
Cool.
Yeah, we're going to visit Sunday.
That's smart. That's
yeah,
smart.
I don't know.
Come get your sweat on with us, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
wash the machine down.
Yeah. We're not responsible for anything you get.
We also have... Who else is our sponsor?
Arms Preservation Inc. If you care about preserving any of your
So
firearms.
2 gyms. Arms, Sorry. I'll head out.
And we no longer have a sponsor. No, if you care about preserving, any of your firearms, like long-term ammunition storage, these are your guys. They sell the blue bags that we talk about every stream, and I personally use them for a lot of my valuables, and I wholeheartedly trust them. One of these streams, I really do want to Velcro one together, an AR in a bag, and just throw dirt and water and just see what it
Mitch
takes.
was down. We need to.
So that's something where we'll film on an action camera pretty soon and
That'd be cool.
blast out.
I love it. The hats are not how we are broadcasting, but they're not how we're
yeah.
broadcasting. So trade secret, can't really give up. Hello to everyone. Great to hear from you. This is such a fun time. I always love the stream. The streams have been such a source of joy. It really sparks joy for me. Do we want to get into? Are we giving away anything tonight? What were we doing?
We are going to give something away.
What are we giving away? We got
a membership.
We got
Yeah.
keys 'em.
Yeah. Okay.
A membership?
A membership to
What?
the range. Yeah.
What kind of membership?
Gold, right? That's what we decided on.
Yeah.
So you and 2 people shoot for free, and 5% off everything in shop essentially.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're probably going to do a question and answer, and the first person in the comment section to answer correctly gets that membership. You just have to hit us up, and we'll get details from you.
Are you guys ready for a Chinese EMP attack? I absolutely loved the Daytona 500. They had the Goodyear blimp, and it said "Don't shoot."
Was that
on it.
confirmed, or was that?
I don't care. It's canon to me. I love it.
It is
I love it.
canon.
Did you watch the Daytona? Did you watch the race at all? Daytona 500? No, you didn't watch it at all. Okay.
I never realized how hot tinfoil was.
It's I was thinking about putting some ventilation holes in, but then that like defeats the purpose.
Yeah,
the 5G,
yeah.
The 5G could get in. I had to put a piece of tape to keep mine steady too, because I don't want to have any leaks. I don't want to have any errant emissions. We'll say.
Do you want to invite our friend on?
You know what? Let's bring them on.
Whenever you're
Z,
ready.
come on out.
Thank you for not misgendering me.
That's
It's our friend.
I wouldn't want to.
I'm the diversity hire.
This is affirmative action at work.
Before we begin, I do want to say I use an API bag for myself for my family's heirloom, my High Point Yeet Cannon.
It's hilarious that someday that could be a
And
true
that's-
statement.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's why
You
I'm
never
not
know.
invited back to the stream, because
'Cause-
High Point is not a quality gun.
They're not quality.
Phil Casper, oh my God, it's the libertarian heartthrob.
Yeah. I ran for office once.
And you will again,
I ran-
right?
This is your
Can't
future
stop you.
president.
I ran for office once and lost to Chris Jacobs.
Well,
Who's that?
yeah.
He was the Republican congressman that sponsored the assault rifle ban. That was
I only know you. That's all that matters.
how'd that work out for you guys?
He was a former athlete, too.
I ran track in college.
Nothing gets past Phil. That's,
Then I got married and gained 40 pounds. So there's a lesson to learn there. Don't get married.
oh my gosh. So, we've got Duane in-house. Yeah, please, have a
Jenny.
Jenny. We've got Genesee's in-house. We've got a giveaway we're going to be doing later. We're giving away a gold membership. And, I don't know, tonight, Ty, what's like the theme of tonight? What are we doing up here? What are we doing?
I don't know. Just talking about like government and stuff.
How much we love and depend on the government and trust.
I personally think the government has never done anything wrong.
No.
I
No.
think that
I trust him.
following the government and everything they do has never led anyone wrong ever.
That's why I carry a cell phone, so I can just dial 911 if
Yeah.
I'm being stabbed.
Yeah.
or-
I mean, has the government ever led anyone wrong in its history of governing?
No, I don't think, not our government. For
Definitely
sure.
not the United States government. We've never had concentration camps
No, we're,
for Japanese Americans during World War II.
we try to look out for the little guy, like the railroads,
Definitely the
oil
railroads.
tycoons,
Yep.
like
We,
the mom and pops of America.
I think one thing our government does so well is we're really good at sending our poor to die overseas so the rich can get richer. That's a quality move by our government. I personally have never seen them do anything wrong. I'm from Buffalo, and nothing has happened in the last year
Oh my gosh!
where there's been
Literally the
mass
most
government failure.
Perfect example of just corruption and probably embezzlement and just
Oh yeah, it just mass. Central government's always going to fail because most politicians aren't very bright. That's why they're politicians, because they can't succeed in the real world. And so you get these people that aren't smart enough to start their own business or
Sure.
survive in the real world. So they have these government jobs, and they have the grift,
Nope.
and then they got to hire their friends and cronies to help them get in office. And those guys aren't smart, because if they were, they wouldn't be doing that. And then you put them in charge of like snow management, and then you wonder why there's an issue.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a federally funded National Weather Service that predicts weather ahead
Well,
of time.
they
in
did,
Buffalo.
but we shot the weather
It's
balloons
not
down.
like we had two comments to switch gears here a little bit, that there's no guns behind me tonight. we got totally distracted just with Duane coming in. We were making these hats that took a long time.
I'm just happy to be here.
We got arts and craftsy, and
Can I just give a shout out real quick to my beautiful grandmother for sponsoring us for beer?
Thank you.
Thanks, Gemma.
Thanks,
I
Gemma.
appreciate you.
There's actually no guns behind us because we believe in the SAFE Act. The government has been wonderful.
Yes.
You don't need a gun.
No, you
Again, we just
personally,
have cell phones.
There's never been, again, in history, government has never used disarmament to attack its citizens. Especially the United States government.
Why would you worry about
with
it?
the Native Americans?
Yeah.
They never did that.
No.
And gun laws weren't founded by the KKK in the South to prevent freed slaves from owning guns, to prevent racism. That never happened.
I had a very interesting time. Yesterday, we had a group called Leadership Genesee come in.
Yeah.
They have them all over, right? Where they take other, prominent members of the community, they bring them together. They have like a class every year of them that they just work on being better stewards of their county and their community, right? So there was, I think, 10 or so that came out. And we gave them a tour. We did some questioning and answers and stuff. And I brought the Barrett out. Obviously, I had that out on the table, and it was kind of the the discussion kind of got to like, well, why does anyone need that? And it's like, well, why do you need a car that can go 200 miles an hour, 150 miles an hour? Like,
You
it's
don't.
not called the Bill of Needs. Like,
The bill of
you know,
kind of be cool if we had one. Well, that's the thing, and that's where like I use, we talked about this earlier with like I spoke in Syracuse to a bunch of people about the Second Amendment and if it's dead or not. Look, the Second Amendment's only dead in New York if you're willing to say it's dead. I mean,
Sure.
if you just don't comply, you're fine. But one thing I said was, if you're pro-gun, yelling at people who are anti-gun or pro-gun control doesn't work. Yelling about the Constitution doesn't work. And, it's pointing out the flaws in the system, such as the new CCIA bill. In court, the lawyer who's attacking the CCIA bill mentioned that they're basing a lot of their laws off of old laws that were used to disarm the Native American population.
Sure.
And New York State's response was, "Oh yeah, we did that." Like it's 100% rooted in racism. So,
Right.
These social
like, thanks for
justice
catching that.
Yeah,
thanks you for noticing.
Yes, we know.
Yeah.
And a lot of these social justice groups, that's what I said, is that like you got to really think like the SAFE Act. What's the only thing the SAFE Act has accomplished is
Keeping me safe.
No, yes. Besides keeping us all safe, we're all still here. So technically, but 94% of arrests are non-whites. It's the only thing the SAFE Act has done is imprison non-whites.
Sure.
And that's it. And
So are you alluding that gun control is racist?
yes.
What?
Gun control is massively racist. If you want to tear down systemic racism, you should start with gun control.
Absolutely.
And that's my whole stance is that, look, you can pass laws that say racism is bad, you're still going to have racism. Or if someone does racist things and tries to attack you or harm you and you defend yourself, well then racism stops.
And we talk about
Basic math.
trying to like fix poverty or solve poverty. You try to when you think of that, you try to think of like, okay, well, what are some of their issues? Maybe financial. So we help them on like the financial, maybe like education side. Or we give them the resources to like give that equality or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to one of the underlying foundational like human rights, personal self-protection, we take it away
Yes.
from the individual, especially in those minority communities that are, going back to Tammany Hall politics. If you were a Irish or Polish immigrant 100 years ago, you weren't getting a gun either.
Oh, yeah.
And now you are reliant on the government. Like, you can't protect yourself, so now you have to let the police department come in, these organized gangs come in.
That's the whole thing I never understood was, when all these anti-Trump people were telling me, Trump's bad, we're afraid of Trump, I said, well, if you're afraid of Trump, how can you allow the government... Look, Trump's bad, we need to put the government in charge of our healthcare. We need to put the government in charge of our protection. But we don't like this guy who's now in charge of our healthcare.
Right, not like that.
But not him.
No, not like that. Yeah,
And it never made sense to me, and that's why my anti-government views are established, because I haven't elected a president in my lifetime. None of them have been good.
Sure.
And we keep relying on this large central government to save us, and all they're really doing is people like to say trickle-down economics doesn't work. Trickle-down taxation doesn't work. I pay 50% of my income to taxes, so then some bureaucrat in DC can make $250,000 a year to do nothing, and then it trickles down to the state. So Kathy Hochul and her cronies can make a bunch of money to give the Pagulas $500 million of the Seneca money.
Though. We needed,
and the Senecas really did, because they're not a poor.
I mean,
they're not a poor.
if you put like, are you gonna put money into boring old railroads or football?
Well, there's never been a
Football
railroad.
anytime.
There's never been a railroad disaster in the history of the country.
Nope.
So why would you put money in the infrastructure in railroads?
There's never been a railroad incident in Orchard Park. I mean, so they fixed, you know what I mean? Like, if you put enough money into
Actually,
one town,
has there been?
There probably has been.
I mean, I don't know if there's railroad. There are railroads in Orchard Park,
Industrial
but
shithole. But
it is. All of Western New York is, and that's the problem. All of Western New York is because Western New York should break off and just become its own state, but they're afraid because they keep relying on the Republicans to do it, but the Republicans' paycheck comes from the state.
yeah.
But no, I mean, it let's talk about, again, like social justice. This is what frustrates me is, all the politicians love to say, hey, it's this month is Black History Month. So for Black History Month, we'll name Main Street Martin Luther King Boulevard. Yet we'll continue to expand the war on drugs.
Sure.
New York State's botching legalization of cannabis.
Right.
We're going to expand the war on drugs, expand the war on guns, expand the war on poverty. We're going to over-police low-income neighborhoods. So you've done nothing to prevent issues. But like, well, we named a street after like a black guy, so we're good. Like we're good, right? And it's the same thing with the Senecas. I mean, Kathy Hochul says, well, there's a school that no one's heard of that's named the Chiefs. That's a problem. Meanwhile, I'm going to use government force to steal $500 million from the Senecas to fund $1 billion organization and $1 billion owners.
Right. In record profit years.
Money that was earmarked. So I've been working with the Senecas on this. Money that was earmarked to help the Senecas combat poverty. They were going to build nursing homes for their old elderly. They were going to combat addiction and alcoholism. So you stole from a poverty-stricken area to give the Pagulas a second boat.
Right.
But yet, naming a team the Chiefs is a problem.
And that's what we got to focus on.
If you go to the Senecas and ask them, what would you rather have? You know, community centers so that you're not like, you know, combating addiction and alcoholism, or like some school you've never heard of being called the Chiefs.
That's miles away. Like,
they're going to say, why are you here? And are you stupid? And then the answer is going to be, well, you know, if you're a politician, yes. The answer is yes. Yeah. But it's just this mental, you know, this.
You're smiling over there. What you got?
You got something.
You just don't. I'm just like you just don't feel safe. I just don't see the disconnect because
Well, my thing is, I feel safe because the Safe Act.
Okay.
It says safe.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
It's in
That's the thing. If I ever win, I'm gonna run things like the Unicorns and Rainbows Act and stuff.
Puppies and kittens.
Yeah, puppies and kittens.
Brett made a very nice comment. He said he would back a law that takes illegal guns off the street but doesn't affect law-abiding gun owners. We've always said that the SAFE Act and the Concealed Carry Improvement Act, all these gun laws that we have in New York, could be amended that I think would make everyone happy in that they only apply in the commission of a crime. If you're just a normal dude going about your day-to-day business, who cares what you have? Who cares how your gun is configured? None of that matters. But if you use that firearm to commit a crime, then sure, throw the book at them because they have committed a crime now, right? And whatever.
The only dangerous slope on that is
a violent crime.
But it's technically a crime to engage somebody with a firearm, like defensively.
My whole thing was, you're never going to stop illegal guns because technology is advancing beyond the government's reach. So 3D printing is light years ahead of where it was a couple of years ago. There's people that can actually 3D print an entire firearm now.
Absolutely.
And so, great, you know, you prevented Brandon from selling anything that you deem scary, but for $2,000, I can buy a 3D printer and make it myself.
Sure, right.
Not even. They're like $300.
We've got a lathe. We've got a lathe over there.
I wouldn't know.
Anybody with a mill, you know, you could make whatever you want
in your
own home, right? Yeah, like just because, you know, we've had that discussion too at the counter when the printing press was the only way to make a book, right? Like we had the First Amendment, and then when they came out with like a printer that just goes burr, like, okay, you still have the First Amendment, like just because it's easier to print a book, you know, or now you have the internet where you don't even have to print anything. You can just publish like we are now. We can just put our thoughts out there for free, essentially, and there they are. But that, you know, technology hasn't limited our rights. No. It's just technology progresses and continues.
And you can't stay on top of that. You're not going to stop it.
No, you never will.
One thing I want to do, maybe if I knew some guy that owned a gun store to help me do this.
Ghost gun.
That sounds scary. We need Scooby-Doo. You can build. I thought about doing this, but I was doing some. So this is actually a Duane Whitmer special. I was doing some research on like, can you buy something that shoots a projectile from like Home Depot? And then I realized that I'm Googling, can you buy something that shoots a projectile from Home Depot?
You're wearing your hat, right?
And I thought, I hope the ATF doesn't shoot my dog. But yeah, like you can make something that shoots it happened to the guy in Japan. They assassinated. He shot. It was like something you could make. You can make any. You know, it's not going to be super impactful or it's not going to, you know, be rapid fire. But yeah, you can build something that shoots a projectile at a decent clip from materials at Home Depot.
I can't think of the name of the company, but there's a company, if you watch Forgotten Weapons, he's featured them before. They make essentially a Gauss rifle. Josiah, are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Yeah. So this company makes a electronically fired, it's not really a gun, but it uses a battery and magnets. It's like a rail gun essentially, right? So you take any half-inch or smaller diametered metal rod, so just like threaded rod you could buy at any store, like rebar, anything like that. You cut them into any length you want to change your weight, therefore your velocity, and it's electric. You charge it up with a solar panel, you zip your thing out there, and it's in the infancy now. It's going to improve down the road.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad it uses electric and not gas.
The thing that I enjoy about it, though, is I can't make gunpowder easily, right? So
Yes,
that is
a
what I
problem.
that is what I like about it, and it's renewable. You know, it's
renewable. Kathy Hochul.
Greta will like it.
Kathy Hochul approves.
Yeah, exactly. We had another comment. We should touch on New York State Assembly Bill 4271, Ty. That was the one you were talking to us about earlier.
I don't know enough to talk about it, but
So I looked it
I'll
up.
wing it.
We'll just wing it. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
We're doing it live.
So obviously,
think about
every
it,
year in New York, we get a slew of new gun laws proposed because what else are our assemblymen and senators to do in Albany?
Well,
I mean, they have nothing
look,
else to do.
It's now like New York State's the least business-friendly state, the highest tax state,
Right.
the highest cost of government
Right.
state, has the highest population loss, has the highest labor costs in the country. So it's not like they
More
should
laws will fix that.
It's not like they have one of the worst economies, minus New York City in the nation. So what else are they going to do?
We have every year since we've been open, and every year since before then, there's countless bills introduced. I don't know the number of how many bills are introduced in general. I know it's thousands and thousands. So we get thrown a lot of bills, or a lot of bills are proposed every year that never make it very far. But there is a scary one out there, and it's 4271. And basically what it does is it's trying to child-proof guns, specifically handguns.
but that makes sense.
From children 5 years old or less, right? And there's two ways you can do it. One, you could have a 10-pound or more trigger pull on the gun, which we'll talk about in a second. Or two, you can make it so that a 5-year-old's hands don't physically fit the gun where they could pull the trigger reasonably. So that's the bill that's proposed. Two things that I have a problem with. Number one, I don't know if companies... I mean, a 10-pound trigger pull can be had with just a spring, right, adjustment. People do that for Massachusetts now, where they need a 12-pound trigger pull. And New York City, I believe, also requires, NYPD requires that. So it wouldn't be a huge change. But you're going to have a company, say, like Smith & Wesson, right? If they don't have that as an offering... Now you have a company that has to make an entirely new SKU in their system, a new barcode in the system. It's an order of magnitude more work. And New York could implement a system like California, where now there's a roster, and there's a way to join the roster of approved guns that's a pain in the ass, right? So there's a chance if that law goes forward, companies just don't make a New York compliant gun. I am amazed, we talked about this in the stream before, I'm amazed that there are companies willing to do it for California. They make California compliant guns that are on their roster and things like that. I'm amazed by that, but there's enough of a market in California. You would think there'd be enough in New York, but are you willing to gamble that? I'm not. The second problem is, as we know, as actual gun owners, the trigger pull of a handgun is one of the most important aspects of determining, I would say, your accuracy with said handgun. If you have a massive 12-pound double-action only revolver, it's hard to be accurate with that. So now you're doing something, again, the government, trying to do something that they think is the right move. Now you've made people more of a danger in society
100%.
because they can't be as accurate with their firearm. It's absolute ridiculousness.
And what about the older ladies or gentlemen that have not even older? What if you just have really bad arthritis?
Yeah.
Well, and also,
It's ableist.
what about the Wayne Dittmers who aren't going to comply with this anyways?
Right. And we already have laws. There is a law in New York to keep your firearms secure so that children cannot have access to them, or unsecure people cannot have access to them.
I do that.
I mean, to me, murder is illegal. So it's kind of like, what more do you need?
Well,
But it's like, they have to keep adding layers upon layers upon layers of, there's almost no... Like you alluded to before, you pass enough laws, and now everyone is a felon. And they can make felons of all of us very, very easily.
well, that's kind of, I don't trust the government to decide anything because they're terrible at what they do. I don't want it to be a judgment call. I don't want to be a, God forbid someone comes in my house to do harm and I defend myself, and now I have to defend myself to, the government DA
Right.
because he feels like, maybe I should have just talked the man out of, assaulting me
Sure.
and it's just, I think that some things are pretty cut and dry. And I think that ever since COVID, security theater and crisis theater is the cool thing to do if you're in government. You let things get really bad and you call it a crisis, and then you say, hey man, this is a problem, and only I, the government, can fix it. So just give me all the power, centralize all the power with me, and
Right.
I'll take care of you.
Daddy will take care of you.
But what doesn't make any sense to me is after the Supreme Court in Florida ruled that the government has no right to protect you.
Right. They don't have to do anything.
So, well,
they want it both ways.
yeah.
Brett raises another good point about how, like a pinned mag on an AR-15, it actually makes it more dangerous if there's a malfunction. Now you have a very difficult time to clear that malfunction, and that's a great...
I don't know what that means.
You know what? Brett Carlson gets a chair. I'm just going to give this dude a chair. I like what he's saying tonight.
What?
Yeah, we're giving away a chair.
What?
Brett gets a
Lazy
chair.
boys?
He gets a chair.
You get a chair. I can't see. What are you holding? I don't see anything.
Don't worry.
Oh, it took me a second.
Gotcha.
Tyler just giving your stuff away. Hey,
Yeah,
what the
you know what? You get a chair.
next commenter gets Brandon's car.
What the hell? Andrew mentions that they ask you how you secure your firearms during your interview in Ontario County. So again, they already have a law set in place. Oh, geez, we're getting a lot of comments.
How do you secure your firearms?
Yeah.
I let my 5-year-old keep an eye on it.
This is my safety.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
Who can name that movie? The first person to name This Is My Safety. What movie is that from? I'll give you something.
Just something. We'll just
something. We'll just grab something off the shelf.
You can come grab a beer. Come drink a beer with us. Ooh, what was that? New York doesn't even allow wrist braces on slingshots.
That's so true.
Jesus.
Dennis the Menace.
Oh my God.
Dennis the Menace would be in jail and his dog would have been put down by the ATF for, you know.
Yeah, a sharp knife is a safe knife. Same thing with a safe shooting firearm. They don't want us to be able to shoot well.
Should we go into... No, we're not doing that. Why the Second Amendment was founded and written.
That's kind of hammered out, but we can do that later.
So Lee Evans posted about Castle Rock versus Gonzalez was the Supreme Court case that ruled the police have no duty to protect you. If people want to read, which is true.
And I think that's good. I don't think that they should have to protect us because they might put themselves in harm's way. And we all know that a government employee and official is above me. Anyone who gets a government paycheck is a protected class. So I should... Actually, if government officials ever in harm's way, I should actually get in the way of the harm.
Give your life up
and say, not this government official. I'm just a piss on.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, oh my God, you're a hero. Like, save the bureaucrat. And I think that's good. I think that the government really does, they are their own protected class and they should have special rights. I don't believe in moral parity where they're just people like me and their laminated name badges are really... I can't go to Staples Unlimited name badge, so I think that they deserve.
There's a dude I watch on YouTube who's a First Amendment auditor.
Dan Ormus?
I do watch him.
Yep.
He might. It's either him or there's a guy from Long Island. That's
really?
Long Island auditor.
That's cool.
That they have a saying that it's legislation by laminator.
Yeah.
It might be Dan. I think that has that saying,
and that's perfect.
And that is exactly true because you'll go into places where. That is not a law, but the person that's in charge of that place has no cameras in this area, and they laminated it, and it's up there, and that's our policy.
It's funny you say that because this was before. Those of you that don't know me, I was involved in a little incident, if you will, at a gym in Orchard Park where we had a meeting during the lockdown, and the police and the health department came, and she showed her name badge. She held it up like, I'm from the health department, and I said, "There's a Staples 2 blocks away. I can laminate my driver's license if it makes you feel any better." And she got super mad, and then she said, "I'm just doing my job," and I said, "Your job sucks, and you should quit." And then then something led to another, and we yelled at them, and they had to leave, and we high-fived each other. Yeah. No big deal. Yeah, it was.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's you get this, you work for the government, you get a laminated name badge, and all of a sudden you're worth more. You're more valuable than us combined.
Right.
And so
there's the feelings police. They can enforce feelings versus what the law actually says.
Well.
I like Brian Odachowski's comment. For those of us who do most of our critical thinking with a little head, we're going to need 2 of those foil hats.
I didn't get it, but I laughed at it.
It's a penis.
It's a penis joke.
It's his penis.
Little head?
What's that?
Well, I'll show you later. keep that can of paint.
I'm the HR, so we're fine. It's allowed. It's allowable.
Brett says his pistol saved his life once. With all the crap going on in Rochester, I'm carrying the crap out of my pistols. And yeah, we have many customers. There was he a Spectrum Frontier worker or internet?
The Rochester gunfighter? Yeah.
Yeah, we have a customer who have you heard that story? Have you heard the story of the national park ranger who was struck by lightning a dozen times or whatever?
No.
Well, we have a customer who is that, but with getting in gunfights.
Yeah.
This dude has legitimately
Is Wyatt Earp your customer?
He steps out of his car and Like, it's out there.
He just comes in like what's the boots called with the things in the back, the stirrup. They're not the stirrups. Just ting ting.
Good for him. He's been in like multiple news stories. Like, it's happened. Like,
He also does security, so
it's happened a couple times now. But yeah, he was like, I want to say like a Spectrum worker, showed up to like fix somebody's internet and like getting his tools out of his car, and like, yeah, it was like almost like carjacked and like got in a gunfight.
I've actually I've drawn my weapon once in self-defense too. I'm an accountant by trade. I own an accounting firm, and I used to make a deposit for a client every month. And it'd be like 15, 20 grand. I went to make his deposit, and a car pulled up next to me. It was a night deposit. We're in Buffalo. Of
course.
And which made no sense. Like, logistically thinking, if you're the criminal here, I went inside and made the night deposit. And as I'm coming out, he approached me.
Yeah.
Which...
Here's my receipt.
You should have stopped me. Yeah, like, here's the receipt in an M&T bank bag. Like, you got me. But yeah, he pulled a knife and said that he wanted what's in the bag, and I was like, a receipt? Like, I don't understand here.
There you go.
So I drew my firearm, and he decided it was no longer worth,
Good for him.
The
That was a smart decision on his part.
I'm grateful for it, because the whole in New York State, did I stand my ground? Which there's no stand your ground law in New York State. Did I try to? Yeah, I'd probably still be in jail.
Yeah.
I'd be jacked, though.
Randy says there's a movement to abolish the Second Amendment because the government will protect you. And that just makes me feel so warm and fuzzy.
I do
Tell me where to vote for that.
I feel safer. I mean, Brandon, no offense, but like, you sell guns, and they scare me because, the government really should have all the guns, because historically, again, I'll say no government has ever disarmed a population and then committed mass genocide.
There's been no track.
It's not happening in China as we speak.
No.
It's not happening in other countries across the world. It's not happening in countries without the Second Amendment. There's literally never been. Duane is pretty. I wouldn't make it in prison. I would be because like, here's my problem. If I went to prison, is I think I'm tough. So I'd try to fight someone, and probably before I got into like orientation, I would be someone's prison bitch. Because I'd be like, yeah, this is jail now. Like, I got to set the tone and really establish dominance.
Do you want my pocket now?
And then immediately, like, probably 45 seconds in, I am someone's prison bitch.
I would be the guy in Shawshank Redemption, like, first night, just, I don't want to be here.
I'd be, I'm not going to jail.
I want to go home.
I follow all the laws.
I've never broken a law.
No. You've never been caught breaking a law.
Oh, I've been... Yeah, let's go with that.
Protect your prison pocket, Jesus Christ. So, for those people that are unfortunately just joining us now, we are giving something away.
Yeah.
What are we giving away?
A gold
Not a prison
membership.
pocket.
Not a prison
pocket.
What are we getting?
That's extra.
So, after the show, please subscribe to Brandon's OnlyFans.
Do we have, can you drop our links, all my links?
Yeah, we do have it on my links.
We do have that.
Yeah, Brandon sells feet pics on OnlyFans.
I mean, you got to pay the bills somehow.
The crazy thing is, actually, my girlfriend...
2 kids, man.
My girlfriend almost broke up with me because I've been buying like thousands of dollars of your underwear a month, and she said like I had to have an intervention. It was really weird.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I love the support, but I gotta have you long term.
Well, just make sure you're paying taxes on it, because again, like, without paying taxes, the government, some crooked politician, Andrew Cuomo,
gotta get their cut.
And let's talk about our politicians. Andrew Cuomo resigned. Who was before him? Schneiderman resigned, the AG.
Yeah.
You had. I'm drawing a blank on all our politicians that just our governors resigned. Not Spitzer.
Touchy McFeely.
Schneiderman the escorts. It's tough to get them all together.
Who was the blind guy? Patterson.
Patterson was blinded. He didn't. I think
that today. Is that okay?
I actually don't think he committed a scandal. I just think he sucked at what he did.
Okay.
Which is
he just what he was like. He was Spitzer's.
He filled in for some. I think Spitzer because
he just didn't get reelected.
Right? Yeah, because he wasn't machine. But yeah, I mean, politicians have in the history of New York State, the last 3 governors haven't resigned surrounded in scandals, and it's not like Kathy Hochul has any scandals surrounding Delaware North or COVID or anything like that. I think you should make sure you're paying your taxes. You should actually overpay on your taxes, because there's never been a government that uses your tax dollars to fund like corruption. And I think that just the government is such a great organization run by probably the smartest people I've ever met.
As an accountant, you know about return on investment.
Yes. And
government.
Government,
That's the best return on investment
it is. Because think about this. I pay taxes that goes to like fighting crime.
There's some kid out here just like soaking all this in.
Fighting crime and fighting poverty. And we've eradicated poverty. And don't forget, we won.
remember
We won
we
the
did
war
that.
on terror. We didn't have to pull out of
And drugs.
And drugs don't exist. Obviously, we won the war on crime. That's why they're banning guns, because there's no more crimes. You don't need a gun to protect yourself because crime doesn't happen. I mean, the government has a 100% success rate in everything it does, and I just think it's a great thing. It's just blessed.
Hashtag.
Blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
What was the comment here that I saw that I wanted to?
Was it hashtag blessed?
It was close.
I'm never gonna get invited back. I'm just gonna show up next week.
Oh,
though,
you
so
were
joke's on you.
advertised, Duane. You were advertised, I guess, as the prize for tonight. So
I don't think I remember.
is that okay?
Saying that,
Can
but
we give him away for? She's like, yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry. You get ready for the best.
That's like a reward for her.
Get ready
It's
for
a
the
reward for
get ready for the saddest 2 minutes of your life. It includes a minute and 45 crying
How'd you
after.
get to two?
So, it's a minute
Yeah.
and 45 of crying.
So the real giveaway is
and
we're
like you're
doing
gonna
a
read as
gold.
much of Jim's book as you could in that, right? With the rest of the time.
Power reading Jim's book. It's just me. Can I? Well, no, I'm not going to go too much, but just me just bitching about the government for a minute 45 while I cry.
Should we flashing a sarcasm alert in case people don't understand that we're being a little sarcastic here?
No, we're serious.
Todd Chanel, I'm not sure who that is,
Channel.
but Todd Channel. The only reason Hochul was going after gun rights is because she's pissed that Cuomo tried to hit on her.
She should buy a mirror.
Oh man, you are making me question if you are on drugs. I used to do drugs.
I don't do drugs because they're
I still
illegal.
do.
Because they're illegal.
I used to do, too.
Is that who is that? Who's that comedian? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he died.
It's not Sam
He was-
Kinison, but
No,
it's the
he
other
was
guy.
hysterical.
Yeah.
I actually don't do drugs because they're illegal.
If the government didn't tell me, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, actually.
you, government.
Yeah, it's a tough and there are no drugs that you can be done because they're government.
Charles is just confirming regarding our OnlyFans that one of our videos is a pair of feet in a bin of ammo. He says it was research for a friend. So that tracks. Yeah, we probably should just start an OnlyFans at this point.
I tried. So here's the dumb thing. I actually tried to make an Erie County Libertarian Party OnlyFans. It's gonna be like a joke where I just yell at government employees. So like I would drive up to like a city of Buffalo because like
Which
this is
that's about as erotic as it gets.
if I ever wonder why I lose elections, it's just watch this video. So like I was gonna randomly like, roll up to a city of Buffalo parking attendant and be like, "Government job, get a real job," and just drive off. And I was gonna make an OnlyFans because I figure like $3.99 a month. It's some dumb thing that other people might
Sure.
find it funny.
Sure.
They wouldn't approve me.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want to say it's because I'm me, but it's probably not because I'm
there's
me. It's like we don't want to see this guy's butthole.
they do some
so-
due diligence. At least there's someone behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
but I tried and I tried 2 or 3 times and I just kind of gave up. But yeah, I did try to make an only. I thought it'd be super comical of like a troll of like, yeah, join my OnlyFans. Here's me flipping off a post office.
Yeah. I thought that was a free website where
Yeah.
stood for freedom.
No,
Some kinds, but not all kinds.
Expression.
Yeah.
More like European freedom. Than
I'm still gonna try it.
Duane, are you from Buffalo?
I'm from Hamburg. Yeah,
Nice.
I live in Hamburg.
Tyler and I may have been at a rock, like a music, like a thing where young people go to listen to music, and the lead singer was like, "Yeah, we're like so and so, we're from Buffalo." Someone from the crowd shouted out, "Prove it!" And then the guy's like, "Well," and then he like showed his arm and he had the Rochester logo tattoo, and he's like, "Well, the tattoo doesn't help." Like,
Prove it.
just made me laugh. So, like,
That's
"Prove it!" Like, what? Yeah,
That's
what? I
that's
don't
great.
know.
That's great.
Anchor bar? How do you prove it?
Yeah, I don't.
Pagula.
Duane, I have a question for you.
Oh god.
If you had to describe your life using only movie titles, what would they be?
Gone in 60 seconds.
That was good.
That was quick. Gone in 60 seconds.
I was gonna get something like "There Will Be Blood," but like just something like really still like something like over the top, like Rambo. But no, my life's been pretty. I'm pretty lucky because I really haven't had any. Whatever. I don't know.
If you're watching us,
That's a tough
if you had if you had to describe your life using only movie titles, what would you how would you describe that?
What if I said like Bambi?
I mean,
Is it like
'Cause I'm friends with a rabbit?
The theme of the movie is describing your life, or just the title itself?
Titles, you have, like,
just the
just
title.
titles.
Good Morning Vietnam.
good.
I was thinking like
So I never got to finish what I was gonna say about we're giving stuff away. What are we giving away tonight? It's not
the gold
it's-
membership.
It's not
yeah, it's not Dwayne's.
Dwayne's prison pocket.
Yeah.
unfortunately, not this stream.
That will be a
If
stream.
there's enough people that say it, I mean,
one like and we're doing it.
So
one like, one
essentially, all you're gonna have to do is we're gonna ask a question at some point. We'll let it be known that this is the prize question, and the first person to answer it, hopefully honestly and not researching it, will get a membership.
what does that even mean? It's very funny though. John just says pee in the mattress.
That's his movie title.
Okay, all right, okay. Dazed and
I
Confused.
hope.
All right. I thought that was in relation to something about Duane. I don't know.
Because I pee myself.
I don't know.
I went to bed till I was 37.
Something-
It's fine. I'm only 35, so it's joke's on you guys.
Oh man, I do feel silly for not bringing any guns out this
Why?
stream.
go grab a couple?
That's like our thing. Sure. Do we have guns? We have cool stuff.
I think it says no.
If only we knew
What do
someone
we-
who owned a gun store.
What do we have? Only on weekends. Speaking of weekends, we're open on Sundays again, and it was kind of funny. This last Sunday, the last live stream, Pat and I were out here.
I watched it.
And, stop. We were out here, and we were like, oh yeah, we're going to be open on Sunday, but the range is kind of boned because Pat had a class. Well, it turned out there was only one student from the class, so Pat was just like, well, we'll just shoot in the range like normal. So the range was open like normal the whole day.
That's cool.
But it was, it was fun because we had two really good opportunities. Obviously I love when it's busy. But when it's busy, you can't spend the time
Yeah.
that we like to spend. So we had there was a family of like 5 or 6, the mom and dad and like 3 or 4 kids, and it was me and Ben and Cam were on. So I think Cam was helping like the dad or the mom like shop for the actual gun they were looking for, and then the other guy was just able to like show the kids like cool, like, hey, here's the Barrett, like here's
That's cool.
like a Scar, like here's cool guns that we have. So that was fun.
Brandon?
Yeah, Andrew was here. Sunday shooting was great. Oh, we still have this. I'm very surprised.
So, yeah, actually, that's one thing I liked about you guys is when I got into guns, I make the joke that I'm a recovering FUD because I went to a gun store in Buffalo to buy my first gun, and it was like an assembly line thing,
Sure.
quick in, quick out. They didn't care about like customer service. It was, hey, idiot, you have money, you want a gun, and I bought a Beretta Nano, which,
You could have done worse, but not by much.
I mean, I guess, but yeah, and so coming here and talking to you guys and learning from you guys and getting the education that I needed.
I don't actually like touching these.
Tell me, well, they scare me. It's scary, but learning the training and education I needed to actually become a better shooter. It's crucial because look, this is the issue I have with the gun community and as a whole is, all these guys own a gun and they keep a 1911 in their glove box, so they keep
Sure.
a 38 by their bed. But if you're not training with it and shooting it and getting used to it, that's something that in theory you're going to use in a life or death situation. So you want to make sure that. There you go.
Nice. The 410. Yeah, 100%.
This is the Duane Whitmer of guns.
Then we had another guy come down that just had we all started somewhere, and he just had a really rookie, not even a rookie mistake, but just like a rookie question on his gun.
Yeah.
And he had driven out, and I know that there are other stores where they would have, I don't want to say made fun of him, but just made him feel dumb. And we just took the time to straighten him out. And he was just blown away. And I know from both of those interactions with the family and with that gentleman that had some questions, we've made customers for life.
Yep.
And Duane, you're a business owner. You can advertise, but word of mouth.
Yes.
There's nothing that can beat
I actually
positive.
don't. I actually don't advertise anymore. It's
Sure,
all word of mouth
yeah.
because it's advertising's useless when you get people referring you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not like you guys made fun of me for 5 minutes for my Beretta Nano purchase, which you guys did, and I cried in the back room.
It's one of those things
I probably deserved it.
you read the person, and it's one of those we love
No.
you, so we pick on you.
No, I get it. No, you're right. But no, that's one thing I will say. When I refer a lot of my friends out here, even though I'm in Buffalo, I refer a lot of my friends out here because, picking your first firearm, it's kind of a big deal because again, if you ever have to use it, it's in a situation where it needs to work.
Sure.
And it needs to be, you need to know what you're doing. So that's why I push the training aspect. I push knowing how to handle it, knowing how to clean it, knowing how to take care of it. Just owning it and forgetting about it really isn't the best. So yeah, that's why I like you guys, because there's a family environment where you're happy to see us, you're happy to be here. And
We're real professional.
here,
I've been selling guns here for 8 years now.
he just turned 15, so it's fine. He got his working papers. It's fine.
26 now.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Time
Good
is
for
a
you.
bitch.
I know.
I think. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like one of my big things I always tell people off the bat is we don't make commission. Like I don't really care how much you spend on a gun. We have to eat as a business, but like the thing that like really gets me up in the morning is knowing that I'm selling somebody a firearm that they can confidently protect their life with, and just paying that kind of forward. Like, what if you're in the same Wegmans my mom or
Right.
Sure.
wife are
That's
in?
a good
You know
point.
what I mean? Like,
And we've had those people, like, I'm drawing a blank on his name, I feel bad, I wouldn't want to dox him, but the gunslinger, like, we've had guys, people legitimately, like, thank us for saving their lives or leading them on that path where, you know, they feel much more safe and secure.
Yeah. I know carry a Glock 23 and I'm happy.
Jim McGee, that's funny. We don't toss him out when he drops by.
just saw Jim
yeah.
today.
It definitely, like, it warms my heart that we are fulfilling, like, when I open this place, like, you know, I'm from this area. I don't like to talk bad about other shops, but there are shops, you know, that, let's say, have been around for a very, very, very long time, right? And you go in there and, I don't know, when I was a young guy, not that I'm an old guy now, but like when I was a teenager, like I have distinct memories of going into gun shops with literally $1,000 cash, and like I walked in here to buy a gun, and I was just treated like absolute garbage. But it was the only option, so I still bought a gun because you know I'm into that kind of stuff.
Are you?
And now, obviously, people have options where they can come here and they're not treated like garbage, and they're treated with respect, and we have that welcoming atmosphere, no matter who you are. I mean, obviously, we've been sitting up here. It was it was funny when I had the Leadership Genesee group in. I was like, I'm not going to get political, and then the whole time I spent talking about politics. But
that's
we
me
don't,
every
we don't get
every minute.
political in the sense of like you gotta vote for Trump or you gotta vote for this or MAGA, MAGA, MAGA or whatever. It's we're political in the sense that like
Well,
we
you
try
were-
to wake you up, I guess.
You were on Hillary Clinton's campaign, weren't you? You were with her. But no,
I was
get
in
that.
there like in Forrest Gump, like unplugging all the mics in the back.
No, I get that. That's the difference. I think that's the difference I noticed with you guys. I've been to 5 or 6 different gun stores. I own a few guns. I actually don't own any guns because the government keeps me safe. But and the difference between you guys when I first met you, even when we first met, it was the give a shit difference. Like you guys you didn't see a sale, you didn't see an ATM, you didn't see dollar signs. You saw someone that needed help. And you talked to them, and you guys had a lot of conversations with me because I was, like I said, I'm a recovering FUD where I believed in the shotgun for home defense, and then Pat made fun of me. And, you know, I made a lot of changes to my lifestyle and my life, and I still learn a lot from you guys, which is nice because, you know, you're always learning. You should always be learning.
Shame about that boating accident, though. Duane, someone commented that.
Which one?
Ken Carlson.
Well, what had happened was it was a summer day in 2021. And, you know, it's not a lot of summers in Buffalo get really nice, so I took my guns out for a tour of the lake because
White girl summer, you know.
well, white
I
girl,
get it.
you know, me and my bitches, my bad bitches. I said, you know, it's how you raise them, right? It's how you raise them, and I've seen these stories of guns just doing bad things. And I said, you know, I need to raise my guns right.
Sure.
I need to get them socialized and take them out,
Yeah.
and let them know I love them and care about them. And I took them out on a boating, you know, I took them out on my little kayak, and we were kayaking on Lake Erie, and a hurricane hit. And
A water spout.
it was a freak. It was a freak hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane. I got nothing.
That was good. That was good.
You know, and
I got you.
I capsized my kayak and
One for the gun.
just one. And yeah,
Rogue Wave, yeah. Guns need vitamin D too.
they do. You know,
They
you
really
got to
do.
take care of it because it's how you raise them. It's like, you know, guns
It
are
almost it is a shame. Like in New York, it almost does feel dirty sometimes. Like exposing your gun to like the literally like, the sun. Like
Yeah.
outside.
I got to
like,
be careful exposing my 9mm. to
having a
public.
gun like out where like it's just a weird like. It's so.
I'll show
strange.
like some friends some firearms in my house, and I still live in like a townhome complex. So like
Yeah.
I get paranoid that like, yo, you're in the window. Can you like?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm in my own townhome, and I can't
Such
even.
bullshit.
It's just so annoying.
Well, yeah, that's the sad part is that, like, you know, I've had issues where I'm worried about, your printing. Is someone going to call the cops and say that, and we saw, like I said, I live in Hamburg. I saw it during COVID where like a bunch of people were calling 911 for kids not wearing masks outside in the backyard, or like someone at 7-Eleven was getting out of his car without a mask on and they're calling 911.
Oh, of course.
What happens if, I'm printing, or, God forbid, it like comes up over the, the gun and you can see it, and someone calls 911. And Hamburg, generally is decent, but you never know if you get some new guy who wants to prove a point,
Sure.
or you get some gung-ho person, or what the person calling the cop says. That is a worry of mine. Most of my neighbors are actually pretty great. I did a good job of getting to know my neighbors, because that's kind
big.
of important.
It's
I mean,
big.
with you renting, it's going to be tough, but I own my own home, so it's like my neighbors, and there's some turnover, but the neighbors coming in are pretty good. The guy across the street was a big fan of me when I ran for office. He loved me. Guy next to him is an ex-military guy, but he's like a diehard, like in the military. Sometimes they don't, we don't treat our veterans very well. So he's now a diehard anti-government person.
Nice.
My other neighbor's an electrician. He loves me. So we talk a lot about, how the government's a useless organization. So, we're pretty, I've propagandized and radicalized my neighbors. And really it's good to know that, like, it's actually funny. My one neighbor across the street, this is like years ago, there was a doctor who shot his girlfriend at ECMC. And this is like 2014.
But there's security there.
There is, and it's a gun-free zone. So,
Right.
So
How's that?
I don't think it really happened. Maybe it didn't. Maybe my tinfoil hat's gonna you didn't believe it. But a bunch of my neighbors were talking about how like they were afraid because like he was still loose and he lived in the area and there was sightings and like things were going wrong, and they're like, yeah, we locked ourselves in our bathroom. I was like, oh, I just went on my day as normal. And they're like, yeah, it's nice to know, like, we were worried. We almost came over and asked if we could hang out with you because like we knew you have guns, and like, if he broke in. And I'm like, well, why don't you buy a firearm and train? That's
Right. Take care of yourself.
like, why don't you take care of yourself?
Depend on people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy thought. Absolutely crazy thought. We haven't really gotten any questions per se this stream.
Yeah,
But I mean, we have, but we haven't. But if people out there have anything they'd like to ask, we are getting into the
Q&A part?
the end portions of the stream. I'll say we're going to be winding down a little bit. We still have our giveaway. We haven't forgotten. We're giving away a gold. What was it? 6 months? 6 months of gold membership?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 months of being a gold membership. I feel like, I don't know how we've gotten this far on the stream. We haven't mentioned Freedom Weekend.
Yeah.
Freedom Weekend is coming up June 10th and 11th. We have, I must say, for those of you that have hung in this far, Tyler has done an amazing job. We are further ahead than we've ever been as far as planning and getting things ready. Like, we're at where we normally are in, like, May. And, like, we're already there this year. We have an amazing Freedom Weekend shaping up for everyone, and I am just so excited about it. And it's going to be a hell of a time. It's going to be a hell of a time.
Yeah, we're still looking for vendors. We're still looking for sponsors.
Yep. If you want to make your business stand out in the Second Amendment industry in this area, I would highly recommend sponsoring this event. It starts at $250 are our sponsorship, opening values, and that would sponsor something like maybe the dunk tank or a tent.
dunk tank?
Yeah, we're getting a dunk tank.
Can we
this
talk
year.
about what's
do
gonna
it?
be in the
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the?
So our dunk tank.
Can I be in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
We're
should.
gonna get.
I got a
if you
Cuomo mask.
volunteer.
I got an Andrew Cuomo
You
mask.
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I gotta
we're gonna-
find it
we're gonna
because I
schedule
wear
you-
it and I chase them around the house with
What
it.
we're gonna do? That's hilarious. We're gonna schedule like, okay, from 2 to 2:30. Like, I'll be in it.
Yeah.
And then whatever money we raise, because it'll be a small charge to do that.
We give to the
whatever
government.
money. Like, I'll pick a charity, and however much I raise in my time block, we'll give to my charity. So like,
Can I pick
you could do it for the Libertarian Party, or
Can I
whoever,
pick the charity of the government?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Please,
I'd
just
give it
write to the
just
IRS,
right to the
like
IRS,
general
yeah.
fund. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
But we're gonna get a 3-letter jacket or a
D'Angelo.
blue jacket with 3 letters on it. I don't want to say those 3 letters.
AFT.
Yes. And
FAT.
they're going to be sitting in the dunk
Charlie
tank.
says he's coming just to get your prison pocket wet. So
Gonna pay
In
to
the
play
dunk tank for legal reasons.
for legal reasons.
In the dunk tank.
Actually, so speaking of AFT, I actually made a petition years ago to change the ATF to FAT because a memo came out that they were all fat and sad because they were upset by the memes people were sharing about them, and it got like a couple thousand signatures. I should find
funny.
where that is and send that to like Joe Biden and see what he thinks.
So not only are we going to have a dunk tank, but how are we going to activate the dunk tank, Ty?
So I have a.
Stop it.
Our, Is it too soon to announce this? Because
No,
like
I'm-
I don't want the dunk tank company to be like, no, you can't do that.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have a can cannon, and we're gonna launch tennis balls at the little lever thing.
This is the greatest ammo.
Yeah, Freedom Weekend is my favorite. We've been planning so hard.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We want to make it so much bigger and better. And I hate to say sponsorship matters, but it does.
It does, yeah. And the more sponsors we have, the better we can make it. Like we already do have one sponsor, RPO, Rochester Precision Optics. We're very, very happy.
I thought you said our PO, like your parole officer.
No, Rochester Precision RPO, Rochester Precision Optics. We are incredibly happy to have them back. They've been a return sponsor for us several times now, and we couldn't be happier. They are a leading manufacturer of precision optics. So I don't want to say all of them, but some of the nicer SIG, like Sig Sauer optics, that glass is made right here in Rochester, like locally. I think that's pretty freaking cool. The probe on Mars right now, I believe, has glass in their instruments made by RPO.
That's
and
cool.
The SLS Heavy rocket, I believe, also has pieces of it that are made locally, not only by RPO, but Moog also, sorry, Moog. Someone asked to talk about this lever action, or both of the lever actions we have. This is a pretty sweet consignment we got in. It is a Henry, the Henry...
You just call it X, Model X.
Henry X, right? Yeah. 357 mag. It's got a loopholed 3-9 by 40 scope on here that is nice and crisp and clear. And
It will do both, 357 and 38.
That is very true. And it's got 200 rounds of ammunition, and we're
And
asking
the original parts.
$14.99. So Alec Baldwin cannot play the dunk tank this year. We have a comment. And then we also have, we brought this out for a stream before, but it is surprising that it's still here because this is pretty rare. This is a shotgun. This is a 410 shotgun. Like, it looks like a lever action, obviously, like an 1894. But yeah, it's the Winchester 9410 with, I think, an open cylinder. You looked that up before, Josiah, didn't you? What choke it has in there, I think. Cylinder, yeah. So this is pretty cool. They're kind of rare. I don't know how many they made, but it certainly isn't a lot of these. $10.99.
Wow.
So kind of cool. I would love to take this trap shooting. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'm excited for this dunk tank.
Yes. Yeah. The dunk tank's gonna be fun.
That'd be sweet.
The dunk tank's gonna be fun. What else we got to talk about tonight? What's your favorite conspiracy?
That's going to be my question.
Sorry.
Later, though.
Oh.
You can think about that for now, but
Sure.
later we'll ask, because I've been sitting. That's like the closer I've been sitting.
Okay.
in, so
All right.
we're on the same page.
Are we gonna do our giveaway?
Yeah.
How do we do
very
our giveaway?
soon.
How do we do it?
Conspiracy.
You think of that. Think of that while we talk about the giveaway. That's on you.
This is gonna hurt.
It's birds aren't real, right? It's gotta be it.
Birds aren't.
So our giveaway this stream is, we're gonna ask you a question, and the first person to answer that question, trust rule. I really hope you're not gonna research this. The first person to answer the question gets a 6-month sponsorship. I just ask that you
6 month membership.
Membership, yeah, sponsorship.
We sponsor you.
Yeah, we sponsor you to come to the range for 6 months. And our
6
gold
months?
membership.
Yeah.
So you get 2 people shoot for free and 5% off everything in the shop when you come in. So should I just ask the question now?
I don't know.
Cool.
Should you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
The question is, in 1836, there was a gentleman named Samuel Colt, and he invented the first, his first revolver. What was the name of the first revolver Sam Colt invented in 1836?
Obviously, it was the 1911.
2 world wars.
Getting ready
God
for the
bless.
World Wars.
The
Yeah.
19 grand.
The 19 grand. Colt 45, damn good time. No. Also not the Walker. No. Not the Colt 45. That is surprising. The Colt Single Action Army was not... there we go. Okay, so some people do call it the 1836, but it does have, Ken got it right there, the Colt Patterson revolver. And here's a bonus. Here's a follow-up question. I don't know what we're going to give away, but I'll give away something fun.
Brandon's car.
What was Samuel Colt's inspiration for the revolver?
The 1911.
It was the World Wars. It was getting ready
God bless.
for the World Wars. Yeah, I Googled it. Ricky!
God damn it, Ricky.
What
Was it last stream that I wore the Sam Colt can't spell shirt, or was that a couple streams ago?
I wasn't here last stream.
Okay, maybe I wore the shirt. I have a shirt from C and Arsenal, which is a YouTube channel I like, and they made a shirt. There's a saying that, like, you know, God created man, Sam Colt made them equal. Right?
Yeah.
So I have a shirt that says, God created man, Sam Colt could not spell this sentence because he was illiterate.
Really?
And it's all written like, could not spell this sentence. It's all written out stupid. So yes, Anthony Rodder, Josh Wood, a couple people, A Ship's Wheel, John Browning, Sam Penis, Todd Chanel. Yes, that is correct.
He gets
yes,
Tyler's car.
Todd
gets my
Chanel.
car.
Todd Chanel wins another look at Tyler's wiener.
Well, if that was on, I would have answered myself. I don't think that's a fair.
For those of you that
prize.
don't know, Sam Colt was like, if you want to feel bad about yourself, Sam Colt was like 12, and he was on a ship, and he saw the wheel of the ship moving and like indexing, right? And he invented the Colt 1836 Patterson. So
I
if you want to feel inferior.
I don't. I went to public school and I learned that a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Been there.
I forgot that.
All right angles 90 degrees.
Too fun. Colt Patterson.
We just have to remember to fill out a white sheet for all that.
Oh my
Public
God,
schools.
Seriously. Fun stuff. So that was our giveaway. What else do we? So now is it conspiracy time?
Yeah.
What's our favorite conspiracy?
Let me formally ask it.
Let me go last because
Okay.
now I got
All right, Brandon. I guess we'll start with you.
no pressure.
Operation Northwoods.
Which one's that?
So that is during the 60s, during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The CIA knocks on JFK's door and they say, "Hey, Mr. President, we want to start a war with Cuba."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so I think the best way to do that would be to get U.S. citizens who look Cuban to commit terrorist acts, and we'll just like go to Miami and we'll just like land a boat and make it look like Cubans landed and just kill a bunch of Americans. Like, we'll kill a bunch of people.
Gun them down.
Gun them down in the streets, like terrorist type of stuff. And then people will be like, wow, those Cubans, those darn Cubans, that's so terrible. And we'll go to war with Cuba, and it'll be foolproof. We'll get our war with Cuba, and that'll be how we do it. And JFK was like, what in the absolute fuck is wrong with all of you? That is ridiculous. And then a few short months later, he had to go to, was it Austin or Dallas? He had to go to he had to have that convertible trip in Texas, let's say. So that's my favorite one, Operation Northwoods.
All right.
My turn? Mm-hmm. My favorite conspiracy kind of ties in with Operation Paperclip, when after World War II, when we drafted all of the Nazi scientists to, work for the American government because they were ridiculously smart, making rockets and stuff. And my favorite conspiracy is that sometime when NASA was founded, the government kind of shifted, and all of the Nazis kind of, like, NASA is is the person controlling the strings of the United States government, and it's all Nazi owned. And they were looking into interdimensional travel and stuff like that makes me sound crazy when I talk about it at family dinner.
You're literally wearing a tinfoil hat, though?
I got my hat on,
Is
Mom.
this a safe space?
Today I got my hat on. You can't say anything.
I think that I don't believe Bush did 9/11, but I think the United States had knowledge that 9/11 was going to happen. They knew there was a terrorist attack coming, and instead of stopping it, they said, "Hold up, what if we don't stop it?" And then use this attack to expand the size and scope of government for more jobs, but also for control. Because now you say, hey, this happened, you need us to keep you safe. We can go to war, which is great for, the economy, which it didn't actually work for the economy then because 2008 sucked. But it's great for, our re-election campaign, and it's great to boost the profile of these people, such as John McCain. And so maybe they looked the other way to see where it would go, and maybe they got caught with their pants down on exactly what happened, but they kind of used it as an opportunity to maybe some people might die, but think about what we can use with it. And they use that to, I think that was the original security theater, where you used a tragedy to say, hey, this is bad. Like, we need to adapt these surveillance programs. We need to adapt all these other big government programs, the TSA. Like, look, if you don't let us touch your nuts before you get on a plane, you're not an American. You're not a patriot. And, there was a fear that the economy was going to be bad. Government jobs come into play, so you can hire all these, massive government programs. And now you have all these politicians. If you look at that since 2001, mass reliance on the government to solve our problems. It's security theater. You had COVID, which the government said if you don't wear a mask and walk one way down a Walmart aisle, you're going to kill my grandma. And so I think that kind of led to the slow decline in like the free thinking, cognitive common sense of Americans to say, wait a minute, I don't think this organization knows what's best. And they use terrorism and Bin Laden as a scapegoat to just do what they wanted. Well, you were afraid of terrorism. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I was in kindergarten in 2001.
I was
when
in
all that happened.
I was in like 9th grade, 8th grade, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that the war on terror was generally a way for the politicians to essentially campaign that they're going to keep us safe from the bad guys in the Middle East.
Sure.
And that they raised tons of money off it. Halliburton and Boeing and all these companies got super wealthy. And, politicians got rich and built their profile on this. And I think that it's still ongoing. I think that,
And I would say certainly the last 20 years in the Middle East, I don't think we made a lot of friends.
Well, I think that it's really good when you spend $1 trillion to replace Al-Qaeda
and bomb civilians
with Al-Qaeda.
Right.
And that's it. It was a massive spending program where people, like rich people, like I said this, someone actually sent this to me one day, and it was, our country spends billions of dollars sending our poor to fight other countries' poor people.
Right.
So rich people can, keep winning elections, and that's kind of what it's come down to.
But we can all agree that Martha's Vineyard looks great.
Does it though? Because
I've never been.
It's great there.
The store with like the whale logo.
Greta Thunberg told me that it's going to be underwater in 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Oh man. What's your favorite conspiracy
Some people have been rolling them in. I want to hear. Sometimes I like to just stay up late and
there was one.
Go down the
what was the
rabbit
one
hole.
I hadn't heard?
I got to start doing more.
One.
I'm like at an
Windows.
existential crisis because I don't think the government. I think most conspiracy theories are because the government is just stupid. Like they have these ideas of like we're gonna take over and do something, but they're so dumb that they botch it. Like there's a theory about COVID that it was like created in a lab and released, and it's like I could see it because I could see the government trying to build a bioweapon, and then some dumb bureaucrat who like got hired because his grandma helped some candidate win is like, hey, Bob, you're in charge of running this to the next lab, and he like drops it. He's like, oopsie,
Whoops.
Like, oh, what do I do now? What do now? And like, it wouldn't surprise me because like I feel like when I was a kid, I used to get mad at movies that made the government look stupid. And as I get older, I'm like, that's exactly what would happen.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was
Birds
like,
aren't real. Amen. Guerrilla liberty. That's
my friend Matt.
that's the truth. If it's
Birds aren't real. So I got one more question.
Let's try it.
Yes.
You have an ultimatum.
Okay.
You can never use the internet again. Or you can never eat your favorite food again. What do you choose?
I really want to make a super inappropriate joke here.
It's a live stream. You can. It's okay.
That might be too
Debating. He's like,
If you're telling me no, then I know it shouldn't be
far.
said.
The FEC is going to come in and just be like, we're shutting you down. I would give up my favorite food.
Yeah,
What is your favorite food?
Dude, I don't know. I'm chubby at everything.
Yeah, I have enough favorite foods I could live without.
Yeah,
one
like,
of them. I'd be okay.
dude, I like chicken parm, tacos, steak, shrimp. I enjoy a good
All together?
just mashed together into a burger. Duane, why are you a fat piece of shit? No, I mean, I could give up I'd give up a couple because, dude, the internet's been like a modern marvel of, how am I going to see half-naked girls dance on Facebook Reels to pitch their OnlyFans without internet?
It is crazy what we've done with like the power of the gods.
And just ruined it.
Just destroyed it.
It's like, hey, you have this at your fingertips is every knowledge known to
Could
man.
solve every problem.
Here's a chick showing like her OnlyFans, and it's
And your boy Monkey Brain is too stupid not to just give all of your
I'm like,
thought into that.
And now none of it's real. It's all AI generated.
Yeah,
I'm just
100%.
talking
It's not even real
to,
anymore.
talking to Chat GPT.
well, my problem is I have a Facebook.
Oh baby, baby,
You guys,
baby.
you guys are doing better than I am. My Facebook page is like in trouble. Like it's been like zucked and shadow banned and stuff.
Oh, that's us, man.
And
Trust
so
me.
I'm creating content. I'm creating reels that gets like 500 views, and I'm flipping through the reels, and every other reel is like some chick in a bikini, and it's the same reel just shared by different people.
Have you tried that though? Let's try it.
Hear me out.
Let's do a car wash. Just me and Duane.
Me and you.
Get in there all nice and deep like.
I'm not gonna wear Daisy Dukes. I'm gonna cut my jeans into like Daisy Dukes. But like, yeah, that's like the frustrating thing is, and I get sex sells, and I get like what I'm saying is like in a minority because most people really believe the government's still gonna look out for them. But it's one of those things that like really frustrates me is like, I'll put something out that people should hear or know. And then it's like some chick, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but and I just get frustrated. But like some chick in a bathing suit, like shaking in a camera, and it's like 500 comments like, "Come over, what's your name?" Yeah. I'm, and it's like,
God bless.
God bless. Yeah, half of them are me though, so it's fine.
They're all bots.
They're all bots.
On that note, where can we get a hold of you, Duane?
Easiest way is to my Facebook is Duane J Whitmer. I have a Twitter. Whitmer for NY27, which is throwback to my failed congressional campaign where I lost to Chris Jacobs.
Are you ever going to run again?
I don't know. I think about it sometimes. I don't believe in politicians, so I think I'm pushing right now the state of defiance and the direct citizen action move where we got to stop relying on politicians.
You should change up your wording to say that Chris Jacobs almost lost to you.
What I should do?
You got to spin that positively.
I actually
he
started
almost
doing this.
lost to you.
I actually argued with a bunch of like Republican boomers about Chris Jacobs, and I said, "There's no proof he won." Like, if elections are rigged, how do you know I didn't win? And they're like, "Dude, you got 2%." And I said, "Did I get 2% or 200%?"
Right.
Checkmate.
Right. Yeah. Checkmate.
Checkmate. And then they get mad because it's just.
Did you count the ballots?
Yeah, dude. That's the thing. Is like, how do you know I didn't win? If but no, I'm pushing the resistance of not believing in politicians and taking care of yourself, taking care of each other, which is what I want to talk to you about. Is like doing content that tests out. I want to start testing out and like the cheap shit, not like the expensive stuff, because if you're low income or you don't have a lot of money, you can't afford the expensive stuff. But I want to test like the Amazon Mylar blankets and put them to the test and see what they can do in controlled environments.
We talked obviously about the Buffalo blizzard, and I think that's going to be a big wake up call.
Yeah,
I think it was, and it will continue to be a big wake up call for a lot of people. And that was again a wake up call that the government, when the going is really tough, the government is not going to be there to help you.
Right.
And there were Facebook groups set up and the community that just bloomed overnight.
Yeah.
Of people trying to help each other, and then the government doing what government does best and ticketing and finding people that were just trying to help other people.
Yeah. And that's just how it works. But yeah, that group was amazing. There was a lot of stuff, and that's something I want to use is like putting out content that look, I bought 12 Mylar blankets for like $30.
Sure.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
So they're not going to last through winter. I'm not going to climb Mount Everest with them. I'm not going to survive in Alaska. But I mean, we can go to your place out in the woods, and I can sit in a snowbank for a couple hours and see, or I can sit in my car overnight, and say like, hey, it worked, and it's a controlled environment.
Right.
Because one thing I did do is, everyone likes to talk about the terracotta with the pot and the candles, and I
always see that.
I tried it, and first of all, it didn't raise my temperature. I was in a small room. It didn't raise the temperature. It prevented heat loss.
Sure.
So that's good, but it didn't I wasn't sweating. But open flame. I have dogs. If you have kids, if you fall asleep and something falls on it, there's a lot of here's my opinion on that is if it goes wrong, well, you're in a crisis situation.
Right.
You just made it significantly worse.
Yeah.
So putting out content like that people can see and learn, and I think stop relying on government, when your power goes out. And that's what really worried me in the Buffalo storm. I had friends who lost power, and they're calling me and they're like, hey, we lost power for 4 hours. What do I do? And I'm like, dude, I grew up poor, and losing power for 4 hours was called, oh shit, we're 3 months behind on the electric bill.
Sure, yeah.
And my dad lives out in an arcade on a farm, and even on heavy windstorms, he'd lose power overnight, and you got to get near the wood stove. You got to do certain things. And it's just teaching. I hate to say this, but like we said earlier, like you have all the knowledge in your hand in your phone,
right? And
you don't learn or know. And so, just teaching, if your power goes out, don't go out to your car every hour to charge your phone because you open the door and you're losing heat.
Sure.
Things like that, and just teaching little things. And that's kind of where I'm going now is just helping people take care of themselves.
Natural gas automatic generator. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Yeah, that's another bill that's never going to work.
Let government.
I know we're running out of time, but that's that whole natural gas ban's never going to work. I actually spoke. Well, I don't know when you're going to end. I don't know. Do you have a bedtime?
It's way past it for me.
I'm so tired. I actually went and spoke at a couple of the committee events on behalf of the Libertarian Party in New York, which I'm the vice chair of. And no big deal. It's
no big
royalty.
deal.
It's
You
fine.
know,
I'm like
name
that's like the whatever. It's no big deal. But no, I spoke on behalf of the LPNY and I said, this is my only question I have for this committee. How are you going to enforce this ban if I have gas, heating or a gas furnace or a gas stove? How do you plan on enforcing this ban? And the guy goes, well, we think that people will voluntarily comply, and we're hoping that people will know what's going on and think that it's okay, and they'll do it on their own, regards and voluntarily. So I said, okay, that's great, but I'm not going to do it. I'm telling you, here I am. My name's Duane. I don't live in Hamburg. I live in somewhere else, and my name's not Duane.
Duane.
And I said, I'm not going to do it. What are you going to do? Well, we really hope you should do it. And there's no enforcement arm. And I said, do you guys plan on kidding up, or Kathy Hochul, is she going to kid up and knock on my door? I said, I don't think it's going to happen. So how do you plan on enforcing this? How do you plan on doing this? What do you plan on doing? And the answer was just, they don't know. There is no enforcement. So this whole ban, it's a feel-good measure to appease people who are afraid, just like COVID theater, just like after, terrorism theater.
Yeah.
It's crisis theater to appease the people who are afraid. We have to do something, because if you don't do something, we're all going to die.
Right.
And so you do something with no regard for how it's going to work. And then, we'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Data?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Just like the SAFE Act. We're going to have, what was the ammo? They're going to do ammo,
Background checks.
no, weren't they going to have microstamp ammo?
Oh, sure, yeah, the microstamp.
Firing pin.
How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Technology's not there.
Ridiculous.
Technology's not there.
So Jim McGee made a good point. You can have a compliant gas stove. The door just has to be pinned closed. And you can't have any operating handles. It's a little crack on the safe back
good.
there.
Real fast.
Good stuff.
Someone asked where my favorite beef on weck was, and I don't have an answer to that because I'm chubby. So I really don't have all of them. Beef on weck in general is
Yes.
just all of them.
Yes.
If it exists, it's delicious.
All I can taste is salt.
Dude,
Just from saying that, just
beef on weck.
salt.
You guys got to come out. I'll take you on a tour of all the restaurants.
That would be fun.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm from Alexander, Batavia
Yeah.
area, so I am dead set between Buffalo and Rochester. But my dad worked in Rochester, so we just never spent, unless
If
it was
you
like
want,
a Bills game or something.
There's a restaurant in my basement you can check out.
That sounds.
And on that note,
All right.
if you missed this stream, we're on
PrisonPocket.com.
Spotify. Check out the All My Links. It's so funny we have an All My Links. That has all of our podcasts.
I need an all my links. I have a link.
Get one, dude. It's free.
I have a link tree.
You pay?
Do I pay? No, it's free.
Really? All My Links was free. Well, check out All My Links. You can see all of our podcasts. For platforms we're on.
I didn't get a single 5G.
Not a single.
Stream. I don't think a single one got through.
Thank you guys, and Duane. It was a pleasure having you guys on.
I'll come anytime. I like hanging out with you guys. You guys are my only friends. That and the imaginary.